Hi again. So this is another weekly review for our research methods course. Dig right into the performance, comparing week 3 on the left to week 4 on the right. Not much of a change between the stats for time and touches on the Canvas site. The discussion board posts increased a little bit, but pretty much the same. The quiz and discussion scores did increase, so slightly, but they did. So the overall grade, assignment scores decreased just a touch. So still doing very good. We had 11 students attend the 2 office hours this past week. And so if you're interested, again, it's 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening, Central Standard Time. Out of the 23 proposals submitted this week, 19 were approved right off the bat, so congratulations. I told you that it's typically over 80%. We're at 82.6. That's awesome. Still waiting on 2. Some students need a little bit extra time. That's cool. For those that weren't immediately approved or those that were approved but needed some work, I provided feedback in the in the grading section or whatever, and I tried to be very specific with what I was looking for, what you could do to improve. If you need help, please reach out to me, talk to your peers, so on and so forth. The quiz did improve from last week. I've got all 4 quizzes here. The time was a lot less, scoring was better, so I don't know if it was easier or what, but we had 3 questions that scored below 80%. The first one had to do with, after introducing the research problem in a quantitative study, a well-organized research proposal typically proceeds with and it's a literature review. The next one had to do with, after introducing a qualitative study, a well-organized research proposal typically proceeds with a method section. And then finally, a research proposal. In a research proposal, where do you put the informed consent letters, or the informed consent letter, specific assessment instruments, blah, blah, blah? It's always in the appendices. If you put it in the literature review, it just expands out. It kind of destroys the narrative or the speed in which you're explaining it. All that stuff goes in the appendices. We've got a lot of students completed with the 2 CITI training programs, so just 7 remain. I'd ask to please try to get those in sooner than later. I don't want to wait too long on those. I really don't want to remind you guys anymore, so please do that. If you did not, if you didn't receive approval for your topic through the week 4 assignment, I'd like you to upload it again for approval. Under module 5, right at the bottom, it's got this. Just click on there. Everybody who's already approved will get the 40 points. Those who are approved but needed more work, I'd ask you to submit your more work there as well. And that's where I'll figure out the score. So if if you've already been approved, full approved, everything's good, you'll get the points. I'll just, put them there. So you don't have to worry about it. I'll probably just do all of it, though, at one time. So, if you have a question, let me know. Otherwise, you're all set. Last week's discussion board, you guys were very open and honest, and I really appreciate that. And also, we have probably more of a diverse set of topics than I've ever seen before. They tend to be, fall into several camps. You guys have kind of blown that out of the water, and that's awesome. I think that's great. And I was really surprised that what some of you had been talking about discussion, I'm like, I wonder how they're going to justify that and make it like a viable study. And you did, and I'm really impressed with some of you. Also, I see that a lot of you are reaching like this level of fatigue. It's to be natural. And there'll probably be a little bit of a lull. Once your topic's approved, it's like you want to kind of catch your breath, kind of reestablish. Understandable, but for those that are really stressing, try to keep your eye on the prize because we're over halfway through. We're going to be done in like 3.5 weeks, depending on when you're watching this. And then you'll be moving on. And, whether you're going to pursue this through 789 or not, it's completely up to you. You don't have to make the decision right now. But, I will ask that later on to see where everybody is. I think in the discussion board, we can talk about that more. And just if you haven't already, I'd listen to the Maggie interview, Maggie Rice, or the Dr. Dan Schneider interview. And as Ross and Maggie said, relax if you can. That's good advice. All right, so I'm going to try to provide this. I try to provide these in different perspectives to try to help you out. This is sort of the funnel process that you should be going through to get to a working thesis or basic sub problems or sub questions for your proposal. And here's another one over here on the right. So that's, I'm hoping that this isn't new to you, but maybe providing this picture might help some of you. And these were common mistakes. I believe this was in the review 1. So failure to provide proper context to frame the research objectives, we had some of that. No clear explanation of the scope, we had some of that. Failure to cite landmark studies, we had some of that. There was an accurate presentation of theoretical, I'm not sure if we had that or not. I don't think so. Failure to stay focused. Yeah, there were some of you who could reorganize a little bit better. I think that was the word I used. And then lack of development of coherent persuade. No, a lot of you had some good stuff. Some just needed a little bit of finesse and they'd be all set. So these are common mistakes. So look at them. You can kind of rethink of yours, but I think we're doing pretty good. Now we're going to move into study designs. And I think it's important because you're almost, some of you are there, some of you still have a little bit more work to do, some more than others, to present the full support for the research question along with sub questions, which in that one funnel is kind of like your hypotheses that you're testing. Now start thinking about how it can be done. Some of you have already been thinking about this, and some of you in going through exercises when you and I were meeting one-on-one, I started thinking about what it would look like to collect data. Who would be your study sample or your study population? How would it go? So the next 2 weeks are going to take you through and review all, sort of the range of different study designs. And hopefully you'll land on one. And hopefully in the assignments and trying to locate examples, you may find a study that kind of looks like what you'd like to do. And then you can, in many ways, beg, borrow, steal, replicate what they have for this course. And that's what it's all about, is trying to figure out what would work best. So that's all I have. If you got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'd really love to see you in the office hours on Sunday. Thanks.